Hi everyone, welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. I am Bonnie Krebs, creator of Watercolor the Art Impressions Way, and this week we are going to do another one of our new releases. So I'm going to use one of the urns from our new Ornate Container set. We're going to use this one right here. They're all really versatile, and you know, this one especially, let me just show you. I've stamped it a bunch of different ways, so you have a lot of options. You're not just locked into the original image. This is the basic image right here, but because you're using a stamp and a marker, you can use these containers in a lot of different ways. They're really fun to do. So we're going to take this one. We're going to create this little image here. In addition, we're going to use some foliage from the new Foliage set 2. And we're going back to Foliage set 1. So we're going to use the tiny little grass right here. And then we're also going to use the cobblestones. The cobblestones are from Watercolor Series 3, set 2. So we're going to use that. Okay, so let's get started on this image. So we're going to start out by stamping the urn, and we're going to add some color to it. So we're going to use it. We're going to use a couple of colors. So we're going to use the African violet, just like this, and then we're going to stamp it off. So we're going to stamp it off onto another piece of paper. And then we're going to use the sepia. And this time I'm going to take the top off. So I'm not going to ink the top of it. We're going to hang some foliage down over the top. And this is just another way to use it. So I'm going to, I'm just going to leave part of this image off, the very top. Then you're not fighting these lines in here. When you go to hang something down over the front, you're not fighting that image with the lines on the top. Okay, so now we're going to stamp it into the middle of the paper. And you can see that this area right here is gone. So we've left that off, and now we don't have to deal with these lines here. Okay, so we're going to start out by pulling the color out of the lines, and I've used 2 colors now, so you can see I'm getting this sort of a stone-colored antique gray look. And I'm just dragging this out. This is a rounded container. So we are going to have that highlight in the center. Remember, we don't cross these lines. And I've left a little bit, left this open a little bit in the center as well. And this here, this part of the urn, this is kind of going back. So we can color that in solid. We can make that really dark. Remember, the darkest area is going to be on the sides. And then you're going to drag that color over to the center. Okay, so that's about all we have to do right now. So let's go ahead and get our foliage in. So we're going to ink our little vines. These are the vines from the Foliage set 2. So they are this one and this one. So the ivies, they come in two different directions. So a left and a right. So I'm starting out with the right. And I'm going to ink this in the olive green, and I'm just going to drag this over the front. 1, 2, 3. And you can see what I mean by hanging those foliages down over the front and not having to fight with these lines. So I'm going to ink it again, and I want to put some flowers in here, so I want to leave a little space. And so I'm just going to come out this way. And I've left a little white space in here. So now let's go on to the one facing to the left. And this one too, I'm going to stamp in here a bunch. Get that in there a bunch of times. I say 5, but 6 is good, 4 is good. You just want more than 3. And now we're going to add our water to it. So we're just going to soften this image. Just kind of dab. And you can see it's starting to look like a little watercolor painting. This is so easy to do. And these dark ones come forward. See, this is the first impression here. These dark ones, those come forward. And the light ones, they kind of fade back. So we're getting our foliage in here. You can pull some of this color out now to the side. This color that's in the urn, drag some of that color out. Adds a lot of dimension to do that. Okay, so we've got that done. Let's go ahead and add our flowers in here. So I've left some white space so that we can do that. And I'm going to use the little flowers from Flower Set 2. And I should have showed you that in the beginning. It's this one right here. So this is the Watercolor Flower Set 2. They look like little hearts. And I'm going to ink these in the Prussian blue. So this is number 29, Prussian blue. And I'm just kind of going up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll get a few more in. And another little group of them up here. It's not as important that you get them in the right space as that you get them in there a bunch of times. That's the most important thing, is that you're stamping it over and over so that when you add the water, the dark ones come forward and you get that three-dimensional look. So important to do that. Okay, so we've got that all blended up. Just jump your brush. Okay, so let's add a little bit more to the top here. So I'm just going to ink that little vine that's facing left. Just get a few more of these in here. And just drag this color out. Just soften. So cute. And let's add some more of the other one, the left facing, or the right facing. And you can just kind of fill in. You know, where you've got those open spaces, just fill in with your foliage. So cute. And stamp and add water. And you can see, even though you're using the same stamp, it just looks different every time. Okay, blend this all together. Let's add some more color here. And we're going to add the long stem. So that one also is from the flower set. So it is this one right here, this long stem. So we're going to ink this in 2 colors. We're going to use the magenta on the bloom. And we're going to use the green, the olive green on the stem. And get that in there a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the easiest way to remember. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add the water to it. And you can see how that changes the shape. Even though it's the same stamp, you'd never guess that because the water changes the image. And it makes it look different. You can add a few more in here if you want to. I think I will. A couple more on the side. And depending on how much of the stem you use, you can make these shorter too. You can just ink part of the stem. And just make it way smaller. Remember, you don't have to do anything with the stem. You don't have to add any water to the stem, just to the bloom. Let's do just a couple more here. I love this bright pink, so cute. Stamp and add water. And we are about done with this part. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's add some color now to our little urn. And we're going to do that from the palette. So let's put a little of the Prussian blue on here. And dip our brush in water. And we're just going to brush this color on. So start with it light and start where the color is the darkest. And that would be on the sides. Always on the sides. And just apply the color and drag it over to the center. Just pull that color over. Remember to leave that highlight so we can tell that this little container is rounded. And then get another coat of color on here. Remember this side over here, this would be pretty dark. It's back in the shadows. Just keep pulling that color over until you have it as dark as you want it. Drag some of this color out as well. And pull some of this green into the blue. Okay, so we've got our little container done. Let's go ahead and put our cobblestones in, and we're going to do that by stamping it in two colors. So we want that gray again. So we want that, we want to start with the African violet, and then we want to ink it with the sepia again. So first of all, we're going to cover this little pot so that we don't stamp over the top of it. So we want to kind of protect our urn, and then we're going to ink up the little cobblestone path. So the first thing we're going to do is ink it in the African violet, and we don't need this whole thing. We just need kind of the center. And we're going to stamp it off, just like that. And now we're going to ink it in the sepia. So just the center of it. And we're going to stamp it, probably right in the middle. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we can remove our little cover, and we've got a really cute little cobblestone path in here. Now we're going to dip our brush and just pull the color out from the sides. And what you want to kind of focus on is the bottom part of the cobblestone. So just kind of the bottom, this side. You kind of work your way up here. Just hit the bottom. So you don't have to get all of these little pieces. Remember, it's just the idea of things with watercolor. Let's pull some of this color out now so we can create a little shadow here. Okay, that looks good. And let's put some grass in here now in the background. So we're going to use the tiny little grass from the Foliage set. And we're just going to add a little grass back in the background. And then if you want to, you can add some into the little cracks. Kind of cute to do that. That's up to you. And now add some water to everything. Just pull that color up and out. Pinch your brush off. Always remember to pinch your brush off because we don't want too much water. Too much water will just lose the whole image. And we want to soften the lines, but we still want to see them. Okay, we are about finished with our little image here. We can add another detail maybe. Let's add another detail to the little container. Maybe just a little pink band in here. That looks good. And we are ready to sign and date. Put it on a card or in a frame and give it away to someone and totally make your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.